Hi guys, this is Courtney from Willows Bloom, a sanctuary of self-care for female entrepreneurs online at willowsbloom.com and here on YouTube. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to schedule more intuitively. So in a previous video on 90-day goal setting for 2020, which I'll link up above in the cards and down below, I would actually recommend watching that before this one. But in that video, I talk about how you should actually set 90-day goals instead of New Year's resolutions. I'm not going to get into all the reasons why, but basically the structure that I set up was that you should start off with a 3 to 5 year vision and journaling about that. And then you should actually work your way backwards and create annual goals that will get you to that 3 to 5 year vision. Then take your first annual goal or the annual goal that's closest to you now, and then break that down into 4 quarters and then set 90-day goals. And then actually go into that first 90-day goal, that first quarter, and go in and assign target things that you want to achieve for each of the 12 or 13 weeks of that first quarter. So knowing all of that, it seems quite rigid, doesn't it? Like it seems like we have everything planned out for the next 3 to 5 years of our life. But in reality, things just don't work that way. Things come up and moods change and we have to go with the flow. So having a super rigid schedule like that just doesn't make sense for me and my personality, and probably not for you too because you're watching this video. I want to actually go through and take that structure and loosen it up a little bit to get into our intuitive flow so that we can see how to work in a really natural, easy way. So I mentioned in the 90-day goal setting video that we should actually be setting the 12 or 13 weekly targets, and then we're really going to flush out the first week or two with tasks. And I like to work in weekly increments, meaning I assign that target and that's what I say is my goal for the week. And actually things can move around as much as they want in order to achieve that goal. So if I have a goal of recording 5 podcasts or 5 videos or writing 5 blog posts, that's gonna be my weekly target. But then maybe I have that scheduled for Friday and Thursday, and maybe I get to Friday and Thursday and I just don't feel like doing it, or things come up and it just doesn't resonate with where I am and the mood I'm in. Well, what I'll do is shift things around to actually work on things that feel good at that moment. And it's important to also schedule something that people call white space. So you want to have a little bit of elbow room in your schedule during the week. If you actually look at my schedule, you won't see white space, but in reality, I take a lot of white space. I would recommend to schedule it in. I schedule it in under big projects, and I'm gonna put up an example of my calendar for you guys to see. But big projects means that I'm working on things that will move the needle in my business, but it also means that I'm going to take that white space for myself to be more creative and think about the things that will move the needle. So it's super important to have a lot of free time and quiet time throughout the week, or at least certain periods of a day, because you need that time to actually invite creativity to come to you. If you're always active and you're trying to consciously think about all these things, you're not going to find those innovative ideas that will really push your business forward. If you think about any epiphanies that you've had, any really big life decisions, I bet you weren't really busy at the time when you made those decisions or had those ideas. Like really reflect on it. You were probably in the bed just waking up in the morning and thinking, or you were showering, or you were walking your dog. These are the kinds of things that we need to make space for in our life. And actually, when we run a business, we need to intentionally make space for it or schedule it in, because otherwise there are going to be an endless amount of tasks. There will always be something for you to do. So if we don't make space for it, our schedules will really take over and we won't really have that time for the creativity that we need. So just a few weeks ago, I was working with an accountability coach to help me with all this scheduling, because I knew that there was so much that I wanted to get done in a month that I felt like, okay, I can't do this on my own. I need help. I need someone there to help me basically set this all out into a process and a schedule and a timeline. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to get out of it, But at the end, I realized what I needed most from my accountability coach was for her to tell me very frankly that I am terrible at managing time and that I need to account for at least 50% or some kind of percentage more than I was accounting for. So I would say, okay, it'll only take me like an hour to write a blog post, but in reality, some blog posts could take up to 3 hours to write. And so what I need to do is double the time for each blog post so that I have more time and not too little time and feel always like I'm rushed. And the thing is, what I was doing is I was being overly optimistic, which is honestly great for being an entrepreneur. I think that you have to be almost unrealistic with your optimism in order for you to succeed eventually, because I think you can't give up hope, you know? And anyway, that's a tangent. But what I'm trying to say is I'm also overly optimistic with my time. So I think, oh, I can fit in like 5 blog posts in one day. When in reality, if I actually laid out how much time that would take and added 50% more, I probably don't have enough time for that. So what I was doing was over scheduling my days and then getting disappointed and beating myself up because I can't reach these unrealistic expectations. And have you guys ever done that? Have you ever had these really high, lofty goals for everything that you're gonna get done in a week, and then you don't do it and you feel like, man, I can't believe I did so bad. Like, I really didn't achieve what I wanted to, and you're just not nice to yourself like the way that you should be. Well, that's what I've been doing over and over again, and I had that realization when I sat down and talked to my accountability coach. And she just told me it's better to schedule fewer things and feel really good about yourself. Think about the psychological implications of checking everything off of your to-do list. Think about how good that would feel to just mark that complete and see everything was done. Like, that feels so satisfying, especially if you have some kind of interactive to-do where you click it and it makes a noise and it has like a little animation. It feels so good. But then imagine the psychological effect of seeing all these things left on your to-do list at the end of the day, and you thought you were gonna get them done and you didn't, and you just feel kind of disappointed, and then you feel this kind of heart palpitations and this anxiety, like, where am I gonna move those tasks now? Where am I gonna put them in my calendar? There's not enough time because you didn't schedule enough time. So I think the whole purpose of this, to schedule intuitively, is to also be kind to yourself and be really realistic about how long things take. So give yourself way more time and finish early, and then you'll have more time for other tasks, and then you'll be ahead. But if you're always behind the schedule that you set for yourself, you're going to be running and running and running to catch up, and you're never going to feel like you're there or that you're good enough or you're doing enough. And I think that is psychologically damaging, which is something I experienced. So I try to schedule now more time than I need to for the tasks. And honestly, sometimes it's not even enough still. Like, I'm still working on it. I am human. But yeah, I think that is step number 1 when you're scheduling out your tasks and your targets for the week, is keep in mind, how long does this actually take? Another thing that I like to do is set themed days. And I've seen that a lot of people do this and talk about this in their business. But it doesn't work for me quite like it works for them. People would be like, okay, on Monday I'm gonna do, admin, which actually is like my admin day. Or Tuesday I'm gonna do blog posts, and Wednesday I'm gonna, schedule my client calls. Well, sure, that's great if your business is the same every single week within a month, but in reality, mine works differently. Like, I need to get those blog posts out, but I don't need to do blog posts for 4 weeks in a row. That's a lot of blog posts. So what I do is I do themed days based on the week. So I'm gonna show my schedule up here so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But I have week 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a month. And then I'll have themed days within those months, or within those weeks. So for example, in the first week, I'm really concentrating on getting my blog posts done. So if Tuesday I deem a content creation day, then that means on Tuesdays, I'm going to be working on my blogs, and in week 1. And then for week 2, I'm really focusing on recording the videos that go along with those blog posts. So by the way, if you want to check out the blog post for this video, there's going to be a link below in the description, and it will be a lot more information than you're seeing right here. So it'll be helpful. Just a little plug. But anyway, so the second week will be about recording the videos. So Tuesday, the content creation day, will be record the video day, and so on and so forth. So I have it a little bit of variation, like it's still content creation, but it's going to vary from week to week because your business varies from week to week. But the weeks tend to be similar because I'm creating a month's worth of content at a time. So it's going to be blocked off. Like week 1 of every month will always be doing blog posts, that type of thing. And then if you look back on my schedule, which again, I'm going to put here, you'll notice that on Fridays, I have a long period of time where I'm doing deep work, and it's really focused. If you look at the theme, it's focused on big projects. Well, this is a period of time where I'm going to be doing the things that move the needle forward, as I was mentioning. And this is also the white space that I've scheduled. So Fridays, I like to have a little bit of breathing room, walk around, do some things for myself, and be thinking about the business in the back of my head. And that's when a lot of creative ideas start to flow. But honestly, I have this sprinkled in all throughout my week, not just on Friday. So I would really recommend giving yourself enough time so that you can schedule that white space various times, so that if you're not feeling super great on Friday, but you're feeling really inspired on Tuesday, you'll have time in your schedule on Tuesday to pursue creative tasks like journaling and whatnot for that white space period of time. Michael Hyatt, who's a business person that I really respect, he schedules his white space in the morning, and that's because this is a time when he's going to be least likely interrupted. So at this time, he goes for a workout and then he comes home and has his little white space time. And this is important because he was just moving his body and getting his blood flowing, and all of those creative juices will be flowing as well. And then no one's going to be calling him and asking him for things. So during that period of time is his peak mind state. He's going to be really in deep thought and creativity about what is going to help his business. So if Michael Hyatt does this, I think that we should all do it too, because obviously it's helping. So for my white space time, I like to do a lot of things that ignite that creativity. So one of the most important things for me is journaling, writing. I feel like the pen knows something that we don't know. And that was not my quote. I took that from someone on Instagram, which I'm blanking on her name now. I'm sorry. But basically, the idea is that when we write, all these things come out from our subconscious mind that we aren't actively thinking about or processing. And there's so much insight there. Like, I've gained so much knowledge, not only about myself, but the future of my business and where I can take things just through writing. It's an incredible exercise. So the first thing I recommend is journaling. And then I also recommend connecting to your intuition, connecting to your higher self. I like to pull oracle cards, which help answer questions for me and help give me general guidance. Sometimes I'll just lay them out and be like, can I have guidance? And I'll pull one and I'll read the message in the little booklet. And I feel like it always speaks to where I am at that point in time. And it definitely helps my business in the long run. And then I love to do things like exercise, going out for a long walk with my dog on the beach, out in nature. These things really resonate with my soul. And so I just recommend choosing anything that resonates with your soul, anything that feels like so good after it's done, and that you feel more creative and more connected with your intuition because of it. So I would love for you guys to write down below what you want to do in your white space time. Give me some more recommendations, because I am always open to trying new stuff with that period of time in my schedule. And I hope that this was helpful for you guys. If so, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get more videos like this each week. And don't forget to watch that 90-day goal setting video, which I'll link up in the cards, which is somewhere on the screen here, and then down below in the description. And again, if you want to see that blog post, which has way more information, super detailed, super helpful, that'll be in the description box below as well. All right, guys, thank you so much. Bye.